Hey guys, my name is Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little different than my usual videos. And I'm honestly super nervous about even making it because literally no one knows this side of me, with the exception of my mom. She's the only one that really knows this side of me. And what I mean by that is that I am super spiritual. I am super passionate about astrology, and I am very much oh my god, how do I even say this? So I'm very into, like, basically I am very spiritual in the sense that I enjoy working with herbs, with crystals. I'm very much in tune and aware of vibrations and frequencies, and basically the concept of quantum physics. So with that being said, I felt very passionate, or not passionate, I just felt very compelled to do this video because we are about to enter the month of October, and as all of 2020 has been filled with very passionate events and situations and occurrences, the month of October is really nothing shy of what 2020 has showed us. So I kind of just want to go through a few dates and planetary transitions that are going to be occurring, just as kind of like, hey, just be aware of this, you know what I mean? Dude, I feel so weird. I literally have never talked like this to anybody except my mom, and she always looks at me like,
Okay, yeah. Mercury's in retrograde, alright.
So it literally feels so weird talking like this to my camera that I'm usually used to talking about, like, you make sure you blend it, you know what I mean? And like with my lighting and stuff. I don't know, I just feel very weird. So like I said, I'm sorry in advance if I just seem a little off or like not my usual self, you know what I mean? So, oh, and then if I look down, I'm literally flipping through all of my notes because I'm gonna kind of go through the entire month of, not the entire month of October, because it's gonna have a lot of planetary transits. So if that interests you, like if you really want to see the in-depth and do your own little research, feel free to go onto astrology.com or just Google the planetary transits for the month of October 2020. And just a quick disclaimer, all of the information that I've gathered today is based off of my own studies of astrology of the planets and the zodiac signs, along with some articles that I read and some YouTube videos that I also watched, just to kind of gather up all of the knowledge, you know what I mean, that I acquired, and be able to put it together for one video for you guys. So for those of you that are unaware, we will be having 2 full moons in the month of October, which is already really interesting in itself, considering that 2 full moons only occur in a 1-month cycle every 2 to 3 years. And the first full moon that we will be having is going to be an Aries full moon, and it is also considered a harvest moon because it is the first full moon following the fall equinox that we had September 22nd. And Aries is a zodiac sign that is associated with being extroverted, strong, and very action based. So those energies will be very potent on October 1st. And like I mentioned, if you guys really want to see everything in depth, there's so much going on in the month of October, but I really just want to touch on the ones that I feel can be applicable to kind of everyone as a collective, if that makes any sense. So when I say collective, I mean like a large group of people, not so much as a horoscope, you know what I mean? And following on October 4th, Pluto will be going direct again in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. So really quickly, for those of you that don't know, when a planet goes retrograde, or when a planet is considered to be in retrograde, it gives the illusion or the appearance of going backwards. But we all know that the solar system doesn't orbit backwards. However, as the solar system is orbiting at its own pace, there are planets that go retrograde because they don't orbit at the same speed. So in this case, Pluto was in retrograde, and what that means is that Pluto's sign, or whatever that represents, their energy was very dormant, or was very, could be even considered to have been in a sleeping state. But on October 4th, when Pluto is going to go direct in Capricorn, Pluto represents power, transformation, and rebirth, and Capricorn represents structure and success. So what could be interpreted from this is that it is very, very likely that power struggles or power issues will surface from October 4th and on, in an attempt to be resolved or to have some kind of positive action taken. However, this does not mean that these issues will surface in your personal life. It is possible. However, I take it as they will surface more as a collective. So more so in our society and all of the issues that we're having with government right now. So, yeah. All right. So next we have our lovely planet of Mercury going retrograde October 13th to November 4th. So for those of you guys that don't know, Mercury retrograde sucks. And well, maybe not entirely, but yes, very much so. And that is because Mercury represents communication and learning. So it literally affects anything and everything having to do with communication and learning. So if you really break that down, communication applies to technology, since a lot of people use that as a form of communication. Learning could have anything to do with paperwork, whether it's school paperwork, official paperwork, any kind of educational paperwork. So it really, really affects doggies. Could you please stop barking? Trying to enlighten people here. Thank you. Where was I? Oh yeah. So basically, Mercury retrograde can really affect a lot of aspects of your daily life, which is why it is highly suggested not to make any kind of big or important decisions in this time. Hold off on any travel plans. Hold off on buying you know, like a really expensive piece of equipment, whether it's technological or, you know.
Hold off on making, did I say important? Please stop distracting me.
But yeah, so basically hold off on making any kind of important agreements, whether it's written or verbal, just because right now we don't have this planet of Mercury kind of supporting all of our decisions going forward. You know what I mean? So you could take the risk if you wanted to. The world's not going to end if you do go sign a lease, if you do turn in a paperwork, if you do decide to buy a piece of equipment. However, this just means that the risk of things going wrong is slightly higher. So that's just a risk that you would take personally. But basically just look at it as we don't have that energy supporting all of these decisions and all of these, you know, endeavors that we would normally take. So just try to hold off if you can till November 4th when it goes direct again, and we could all be happy again. And if that wasn't enough already, we're gonna have the Sun in Libra square with Pluto in Capricorn on October 15th. So that means that the Sun in Libra are gonna be squared to Pluto in Capricorn. Basically, so the Sun represents identity and life purpose, and Libra represents harmony, balance, and symmetry. I'm a Sun Libra, so no, I'm kidding, but yeah, I am. And Pluto represents, like we just finished saying, rebirth, transformation, and in some cases economic collapse. And since it is going to be in Capricorn, like we just finished saying, it can create a crisis, because when planets are squared, it literally means like square up. You know what I mean? That's how I can visually put it, or that's how I visually put it to myself so that I could understand. Because it basically means that these two signs and planets are like doing a tug of war with one another to see, like, you know, who has the higher power. You know what I mean? So in a time like this, because we're gonna have both of those different energies of both the planets and signs, it can honestly create kind of like ego conflicts or destructive behavior or a crisis, either socially or like within yourself. You know what I mean? I hate to give all of this bad news. I just realized all of this is like not too good. But I did that intentionally because, like I said, if you go in depth to like the actual, you know, the entirety of October's planetary cycles, it's not all bad. I'm just giving you guys the bad stuff so that you guys could like kind of be aware of it, you know what I mean? So that way you're not like, damn, I'm just on one. Like that way, you know, you're like,
Mercury's in retrograde.
you know what I mean? I got you. But if you guys want to see the brighter side of it, please, it's not all bad. October has 31 days and I'm literally only giving you guys like 5 of them, and it's not the good ones, so don't even worry about it, okay? And on October 22nd, the sun will be entering the sign of Scorpio, and since the sun represents identity and life purpose, and Scorpio is concerned with the processes of transformation and their masters of controlled passions, this kind of just invites you to be a little bit more self-exploring. Like, feel free. The energy is going to be a little bit more mysterious. It's going to be a little bit more like not downhill, but it's going to be like a little bit more like those somber kind of songs, you know what I mean? But this is really just to invite you to kind of do your exploration into, you know, like the little corners of yourself that you don't really get to visit when transits are normal. So yeah, and I told you guys it wasn't all bad news. On October 27th, Venus will be entering Libra, and Venus represents and is the planet of love, pleasure, and desire, and Libra is the sign that represents balance, harmony, and symmetry. So here, please just pay attention to what you want, what you genuinely want, because your desires are going to be your desires are going to be a little bit more noticeable to yourself. And in Libra, it's kind of just to balance and reharmonize yourself. So just make sure to really listen to yourself and to give yourself some loving and give yourself that attention you deserve. Alright, and lastly, on October 31st, we will be having our second full moon of the month, which is going to be considered a Taurus full moon because the moon will be in Taurus, which means the vibration is going to be high because the moon is most potent when it is full. And since it's going to be in Taurus, and Taurus is associated with the physical realm of the body, and it's very much just intrigued with fulfilling its 5 senses, this is a time when you can expect to really feel what you want, like within your 5 needs. So whether that's like you really want to eat something in particular because you've been craving it, or you really want to satisfy some kind of craving, or, you know, just anything having to do with the 5 senses, that would be a good time to really go for it, just because you have that energy supporting you from the full moon. Alright guys, so that concludes today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, there are so many more planetary transits to the month of October, so if your interest was piqued at all, please feel free to do your own research. I really suggest it. I'm such a strong believer in this because I feel like it's very egotistical of us to believe as human beings that we are the only thing that contributes to what happens in this planet being Earth, when every other planet works in conjunction with one another, which is why I highly encourage anyone and everyone that is open-minded enough to do their own research and to just kind of dive in a little bit to the concept of what is astrology at the very least. And before I let you guys go, I just want to remind you guys that transformation is very uncomfortable, which is why this year has been such an uncomfortable year for us. However, I feel it is very necessary for us to be able to grow. But no, for real. For us to be able to grow as a collective and in turn as individuals, because if you really think about it, literally everything in this life is about growth and expansion. Everything from evolution to simply the plants and the trees, how they grow to form new branches, to form new fruits, to form new leaves, to the phases of life. So with that being said, just try to take it one day at a time, one situation at a time, one problem at a time. Please pick your battles wisely, because with all of the energies going into play right now, it is very much easy to kind of be impulsive and just be very reactive. But right now is a time when patience is key, and patience will be rewarded once everything kind of calms down and once we've kind of learned our lesson. That sounds really bad. That sounds like I'm scolding, but I'm really not. I just really want to enlighten and want everyone to be open to this transformation that is happening, whether we like it or not. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you guys think, and if you guys want to see anything, you know, more having to do with this. But yeah, so with that being said, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate your guys' support. Please have a beautiful morning, day, evening, or night whenever you find yourself watching this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Be safe out there, you guys, and one day at a time. See you soon.